One day they formed up on the parade ground, and the army band was playing Smoke on the Water when the colonel stepped up and told them they were leaving for Southwest Africa in the morning. It was October 1975 when they set off through Uppington, crossing the border at Nakob. He recalled his mother saying that that was where his grandfather had been stationed before World War I. And then they were on the straight road north past Windhoek to the military base at Grootfontein. The base was buzzing. Erroneous could not believe the fevered preparations going on. It felt like they were off to war. During the afternoon, they were finally briefed on Operation Savannah. A column called Zulu had crossed the border with Angola and was aiming to capture the capital Luanda before the MPLA could declare itself the government on the 11th of November 1975, the date the Portuguese had set for their withdrawal. Erroneous's battle group was to back up Zulu with armoured cars and air power and build on the momentum the column had made in a few days. That evening, the troops were to be entertained by an outdoor concert led by Gay Corsten and a Neil Diamond tribute band, amongst others. Erroneous felt excited and fearful at once. He reflected, was this really his war to intervene in a neighbouring country because communists were about to take power? It felt abstract, unreal. Just think of the Americans in Vietnam. Still, he went to the concert. The troopies gathered around a huge stage, and as night fell, they drank free Kronenbrau 1308 and listened to Sweet Caroline and Crackling Rosie being butchered by the tribute band. Erroneous was drifting into a reverie when he heard a familiar cabaret tune about boys thinking it fun to carry a gun. He looked up, and there was Anna Marie on the stage with a backing band that included Ginsberg on talking drums. He looked around and saw a queue forming around a number of Bedford trucks where the guys had put down mattresses and were fucking the local girls one after the other.
Someone once said that the future is certain, it is the past, which is unpredictable. So the book deals with that unpredictable past and tries to give us an understanding of how we can use it to navigate our route to the future.
But I just think of what was happening the past 3 weeks in this country. It's a book that allows us, or that contributes to our reflections in a way in which you cannot forget history, you know? And I love Mandla's introductions in relation to this topic. So I think it's an important book. It contributes to our political and social reflections.
I'm Willie Currie, and the Blue Eland Foxtrot is my first novel, and it's basically an adventure story mixed up with a kind of political satire, focusing on in two parts, one on the 1970s and one in the 1980s. And in the 1970s, we track a group of students who go through that kind of landscape when in the political leadership we have Prime Minister B.J. Vorster and his sidekicks.
Blue Eland Foxtrot is a satirical take on the absurdities of the recent past. It's on the one hand an adventure story with picaresque characters and aims at making us probe human follies and vices. It leads us to question the errors and absurdities that take place around us, which are made more insidious because we no longer notice them. As a people, we lost our capacity to feel outrage.
Well, there's an eland that plays a part in the novel, and that eland is blue. And Foxtrot is really indicates some of the kind of comic dimensions of the novel. Akadas and Gudrun sat at the back of the bar at the Fikwa Hotel in Charis, ice-cold beers in hand. They were celebrating the discovery of an extraordinary sand painting early that morning. They had found a blue eland, almost faded on the rock face, that seemed to be pointing them in a new direction. In a state of mild euphoria after the find, they had then spent the day drifting through the orange and yellow swathes of flowers covering the namakwalangs. On the jukebox, the Kalahari surfer song "Don't Dance" rang out its staccato rhythm, and Gudrun leant over and kissed Akadis. "Is it over between you and Erroneous then?" he asked. "Seems to be," she said, "since he went to Joburg."
I misjudged Willie, whom I saw as this serious policy wonk who aimed at toppling Telkom's monopoly of the telecommunications sector. There is a story there about the power of money, as there is about the perversion of the word of the public broadcaster. The quirks and foibles of humankind are the writer's stock in trade, and we have them in bucketfuls.
"Whites will dominate the UDF if they're allowed to participate," said Rabelais Tomato, "just like Slovo manipulated Tambo." "Nonsense," said Erroneous. "The whites who will join the UDF have broken with the system and do not want to subjugate blacks. Don't be naive. With their education, privilege, and sophistication, they will become too influential," retorted Rabelais. They were meeting at the offices of the Transvaal UFO Society in Melly Street, Braamfontein. "I don't think the black leadership will allow that, as they learned from the New Say-So split," said Feroza, joining the debate on whether the UFO Society should affiliate to the UDF. "Anyway, why should a UFO Society join a terrestrial movement?" asked Rabelais. "We've got other fish to fry." "You never know what our links with the ancestors will bring to the party," replied Erroneous. "Perhaps we are, the leadership of the present is behaving in a very similar way to the leadership in the past." And it raises some points of comparison about that and says, well, what is going on here? We're supposed to have transitioned into a democracy, but these patterns remain the same.
Someone once said that power without morality gives rise to tyranny. There's an even deeper critique of that modern dictum in the book. For me, it acts as a warning of the fire next time, because I believe the generations coming to growth will not sit passively and let plunder continue unchecked.